Hey YouTube, Maestro here from Bendy Lightsaber Combat. Today we're continuing our history of the forms discussion, where we talk about the meaning behind a form, what makes the form a form, the fundamental formula of every form. And today we're on the sixth form, which is one of my personal favorites, the one that I love more than any of the others, Niman. Niman is a form that was developed last out of almost all of the other forms, which is seen by most as a completion of the lightsaber. Niman is a form that hybridizes and blends together all of the previous forms, creating a total system, a lot like mixed martial arts or Jeet Kune Do did in its day, with various martial arts forms. Niman brings all those elements together and tries to synthesize them and hybridize them together. The result of that is really something beautiful, because no two Niman practitioners are really ever the same. They utilize different strengths and weaknesses both in themselves, and they exploit different strengths and weaknesses in opponents. Niman is as individual and distinct as the people who are wielding it, which is something that I think is really interesting and cool. Now, that's not to say that Niman doesn't have its own fundamental formula, fundamental way in which it's always practiced. It does. If it didn't, it wouldn't be a form. Anything can be Niman if you don't have like some sort of set of understanding or arrangement or agreement about what Niman is. Niman is a hybridization of all those other forms. So what does it look like? What is the modus operandi of a Niman practitioner? How does he engage in combat generally? A side note real quick, Niman is one of the more controversial forms, because in the Star Wars mythos, in the canons, it's been suggested that Niman produces a little bit of a weak fighter because they have no specific strengths to depend on. They don't have the precision of Makashi, the total defensive orientation of Surisu, the overwhelming attacks of Ataru, or the power of Djem So. It doesn't even have the simplicity of Shicho on its side, really, because it's a mixture of all of these. Also, in the canons, there is a duality to that, because while it's seen as producing weak fighters most of the time, it's also seen as producing some of the greatest lightsaber masters ever, when those masters took the time to dedicate themselves over a lifetime to mastering all aspects of lightsaber combat. Specifically, if you don't know, you can look at Exar Kun for an example. Here was a lightsaber master who boasted that he was the greatest lightsaber master in the galaxy at the time. And this was in an age of a lot of great lightsaber masters, but he said that he was the best, and he was a firm and confirmed student of Niman. All right, back to our system and how we define Niman. The name Niman literally translates to one who is not known, or the stranger. This refers, it kind of touches on Niman's unknowable quality. You never know when you approach a Niman practitioner. How is he going to come at you? It's impossible to guess. He has so many options at his disposal. He could come at you with the precision of Makashi, blended with the overwhelming attacks of Ataru, backed up by the defensive sequences and velocities of Surisu. He could come at you with the simplicity of Shicho, backed up by the raw power, the leveraged power of Djem So. So Niman really does mean stranger in our system. We refer to Niman practitioners as strangers. It's unknowable because it knows everything. So you never know what you're going to get when you start facing off against a Niman practitioner. Okay, so speaking about Niman's fundamental formula, the fundamental way in which every Niman practitioner, regardless of the different tactics that they prefer to employ or how they're going to employ those tactics, what are their favorite move sets, what they're bringing to the table, it can be a mixture of anything. But regardless of what they're doing, how they do it is not going to change. The study of Niman is fundamentally, first and foremost, the study of tactics. It highlights the tactical aspect of lightsaber combat, not the technical focus, not the physical focus, but the tactical focus. That sphere, that realm of combat is where Niman shines through. That's what Niman practitioners really are studying for, is to be able to employ tactical decisions in a superior way over their opponent. That way, no matter what's coming at them, they have an answer for it. They have something that they can do. They have some sort of complementary or compensating tactic. So the way a Niman practitioner begins is first to discover what the opponent is bringing to the table. They do that by probing, observing, and evaluating. So probe, observe, and evaluate the opponent, the situation, the room that you're, the environment that you're in, yourself. Using these probing actions, these probing techniques, the Niman practitioner discerns what he's facing. Is this opponent a Makashi specialist? Is he a Sarisu practitioner? Is he a Dejemso fanatic? And that way, that tells the Niman practitioner exactly how they're going to take that person apart. Niman is all about compensation. Compensating for what the opponent's doing at any given time. And that's the second part of it. Once you probe, observe, and evaluate the opponent, you then employ a complementary or compensating tactic at that opponent. So if the opponent is coming in strong, you employ countering measures that negate that strength. If they're banking themselves on being fast, you employ tactics that take away that advantage. It's all about the study of those tactics. And then for the last step in Niman is just to repeat that process until success. One of the strengths of Niman is that because we have such a large pool to draw from, tactically speaking, we can employ one action, see how it works, one strategy, see how it works, and then go back and do another. And so we become very unpredictable. We become one who is not known. We become the stranger. We become Niman.